Jai Mohanji friends, today we will start reading chapter 5, graduation ceremony. We are reading I Am Mohanji, volume 2, Grace Leads to an Enlightened State. Welcome everybody. So the chapter is titled Graduation Ceremony. Mohanji received an honorary doctorate from Pacific Academy of Higher Education and Research University, an esteemed university located in Udaipur, Bharat, on 4th February 2024. This was in recognition of his invaluable contribution to humanity. Mohanji was charmingly dressed in a purple-colored convocation robe that had bright yellow borders. He proudly wore the convocation cap that was of the same color and had a bright yellow lining. It had those lovely charms that gracefully swayed as Mohanji charismatically walked the beautifully decorated hallway leading to the stage that was set for the honor ceremony. Mohanji was accompanied by a few other dignitaries, and together they all walked the red carpet, proceeding to occupy their seats on the dais. They were ceremoniously escorted by a marching band that walked ahead. The sound of the trumpets, the banging of the drums, and the synchronized marching movements graciously expressed respect towards the guests of honor. The event was telecast live on YouTube. I very delightfully watched the live telecast from my own home. I watched Mohanji take the steps and felt proud about his yet another title over and above his deservingly earned many other prestigious titles. By then, I was very deeply connected to Mohanji's consciousness. As I have mentioned earlier, it can be said that I became a shadow to my master. As I watched Mohanji participate in the ceremony, a strong impulse was felt into my subtler inner being. I was having this feeling as though it was me who had been wearing the purple robe and the purple cap, and that it was my own self walking down the hallway. The fundamental characteristic of a shadow is that it just is a silent imitator of its master object. Being a shadow to Mohanji, I was totally integrated with him and all of his activities. What Mohanji does, I do. What Mohanji feels, I feel. Simply a shadow. I knew that it is not just Mohanji alone here who is being awarded. There was some honor that was being conferred upon me as well. But what was I being honored with? What academic degree was I achieving? That was the question. Mohanji has often mentioned in his satsangs that the subject of spirituality too is like any other academic courses. It has a theory part that explains the concepts and gives clarity. This builds a strong foundation and satisfies our logical and intellectual minds. Then there is an application part to it. What we learn theoretically, we need to contemplate and make them our own through practices and application. Spirituality is basically to know and understand ourselves. It is to realize the energy aspect of us as our true self. Like any other courses, in spirituality too, there are defined levels of achievements as we make progress. The progress that we look here are with regards to gaining mastery over the mind, gaining grip over life, shedding lower frequencies, the gravitational kind that binds us, increasing the selfless quotient in us, raising the degree of awareness, having lesser thoughts, lesser tamas, that means inertia, living a purpose-led life, achieving stability, that means unaffectedness by situation, people, places or time, and more of the kind. As we walk the path of spirituality, we then keep attaining these levels over time. Mohanji has said that we need to walk and work hard and stabilize enough to reach certain levels of awareness. Once we reach and stabilize on particular levels, it is like having graduated in awareness, graduated in the shift of awareness. Fundamentally, it is a shift of awareness from believing ourselves as body and mind to experiencing ourselves as the energy. A higher state is to feel completely detached. It is like distinctively feeling ourselves separate from the gross elements that we are made up of. Such an achievement of a state simply also means detachment from the pains connected to body or mind, situations or people, time or space, and emotions or feelings. An enlightened state! Exclamation. An enlightened state is what the graduation in spirituality. Having firmly established in such a state, it is quite not possible to fall back. It is like once you have passed school and entered college, you do not require the books for the school anymore. These thoughts took deep roots in me as I watched Mohanji's graduation ceremony. The impulse that I earlier felt was getting stronger and stronger. At the same time, I contemplated hard to understand what exactly the graduation ceremony had to do with me. The answers were revealed soon. Body language of Mohanji said it all. His proud walk down the aisle, his steady eyes, his impactful postures, they were all undoubtedly signaling a message to me that it is indeed me who has graduated. Graduated is inverted. Hurrah! I have been consistently following Mohanji's teachings. I sincerely apply them to real life as well. These continuous practices have contributed to raising my frequency. Of late, I had been feeling this change of seeing the world from a different perspective. I observed that I was not indulgently participating in any activities. There was a distance felt between me as an incarnation, a unique constitution, a defined mind structure laden with an individual karmic configuration, and myself as a drop, which means amsha, of pure consciousness. This feeling further expanded to perceiving all beings around me also as energy bodies, seeing the real beyond the visible personalities. In this way, everything looked perfect to me. Everybody is pure consciousness, wearing their own karmic costume and helplessly displaying the same. I was able to connect to people in a much easier way as I was connecting to the real person, the operating consciousness within each being. I feel myself more stable and unaffected by the good and the seemingly not so good. I am able to detach myself from living on an emotional, personality related plane to a subtler metaphysical plane. I find myself more connected to the silence, the source of all sounds. Truly, I have graduated. That was my master's miraculous way to communicate the message to me. He chose to wear the convocation robe and receive the honor, and parallelly also facilitated a virtual ceremonial celebration to me for my achievements. One can only attempt to gauge the grand stature of Mohanji. These are two beautiful pictures from Mohanji's graduation ceremony. You can see him wearing the purple robe, bright yellow stripes, and there are a few other dignitaries as well who were honored. Next chapter, chapter 6, the title is Let Me Complete. We were conducting a 2-day Acharya event at Mohanji Pune Center. The program comprised activities such as yoga, meditation, conscious walking, and playing a most recent video of Mohanji Satsang. The satsang are generally in the format of Q&A. The questions could be posed by an individual per se, but it has come to people's experiences that the answers that Mohanji gives have universal application. The other commonly agreeable factor is that they magically become apt in the current time for the current situation, and most importantly, they have given effects individually. The duration of our Acharya program on each day was scheduled for almost 4 hours. That's a long stretch. We had intended that we would incorporate a short break in between. Snacks and drinks were arranged. Hot samosas, dhoklas, and cool refreshing fruits had arrived. It had already been over 2 hours of continuous participation in the program. The aromatic smell from the tempting snacks became irresistible. I would like to mention that we were not in a very formal kind of setting. It was a small group of close associates, so things sometimes got allowed a free flow. We did not set up a specific time in particular as break time. Mohanji's satsang video was playing and he was addressing a participant's question. We had been attentively listening well until the snacks arrived. Then all the attention was diverted to the savory fragrance filling up the room and, of course, the minds as well. The temptation couldn't be held any further, and we commonly decided to go for a break. My hands moved to grab the mouse to bring the video to pause. The further chronology of the incident can best be visualized in slow motion. I have grabbed the mouse. I have positioned the cursor perfectly on the pause icon on the screen. I have stretched my finger up and am about to click to bring the video to a pause. Before my finger hits the mouse, in that exact fraction of the second, in that perfectly aligned movement, we hear the roar of the words, "Let me complete," sounding from the laptop. Like a shock received, I pulled my fingers away from the mouse. Technically, these words of Mohanji are part of the video that had been playing, but there is a lot of context to it when we contemplate. The most significant one is that Mohanji is live. Live is inverted. That Mohanji is live in his pictures, in his spoken words, in his written words, in the video recordings, and in everything that connects us to him or even reminds us of him. Apologize. Furthermore, Mohanji's words come alive beyond time and space. Words spoken by him at one point in time, in one specific context, become relevant in another point in time to a completely different context. Actually, so more than relevant, because they carry the power to solve a difficulty, a problem, a pain, or a sorrow from deep within the roots. The video we had been playing was not a live stream. It was a pre-recorded video from a previously held satsang. However, previously, the satsang might have been recorded. When we are playing it, it becomes live to us in the moment. We may have connected to Mohanji through a computer, but he is not just an image on the computer. He is very much a living presence in the room. In our temptation to the snacks, unconscious wield the remembrance that Mohanji is present live. We habitually looked upon him as only an image on the computer and thus were attempting to pause. If we had been conscious, then we would consider his laptop presence no less than physical presence and would not interrupt him abruptly in the middle. We would rather patiently wait for him to complete what he is addressing. Or maybe, if the temptation of the things are too binding, we could just go to him or go within our own selves, which is the same thing, and seek his approval to put him on a pause. It only strengthens our level of being conscious in the time and our full conviction to believe his presence to be live. Mohanji's thundering words, "Let me complete," brought all of us back to consciousness in an instant. He roared aloud for abruptly disturbing him. He roared aloud for disturbing him in the midst of him answering a question. We were all feeling very blessed to live this experience. He had made us feel his living presence in a very strong manner. It became an incident that we shall remember for a long time. It became an important incident to take our consciousness to the next level. What is the ultimate destination that we are trying to achieve through spirituality? It is the state of being fully conscious that it is indeed the supreme energy at play. We need to totally disintegrate ourselves to the level we realize that our soul factor is the real one running the show. When such small incidences of making us conscious add up, we speedily make our journey to reach our destination, which is being fully conscious. We have come to the end of this chapter and maybe we can stop here. I hope you are enjoying all these sessions. You can watch a video, you can leave comments. We will be very happy to read your comments. Always stay blessed. Practice veganism. Thank you. Jai Mohanji.